Whether it's looking at the stars or designing a deep sea diving suit, understanding comes out of observation. Not surprisingly, the unknown designers of many of the now rarely seen folk toys found their inspiration in the workings of nature. In simple ways and using everyday material, their creations were pleasing to the eye and for children a little lesson in science.
Can you imagine a childhood without toys? These familiar everyday objects not only provide enjoyment, but often intrigue their young users. What makes a top spin? How can a kite fly so high? Each toy is a source of joy and learning as well. Despite Western imitations, there still remains a living tradition of folk toys in India. They are sold in melas, smaller towns and bastis, are action-based and represent aspects of daily life that create movement and sound. Although simple in design and in the materials used, they show an imaginative use of basic science.
Take for example this, one of the simplest toy called jigging puppet. Now, why does a child go on playing with this for hours together? One of the things which I think is, children get fascinated not only by what it's doing, but why it is doing, why it is happening. These questions make children curious, and they try to resolve these issues and these things.
The different names of a toy indicate local variations and influences, but the basic construction and raw materials used are still the same. Toy makers who live near commercial centers recycle the reject material of wasteful industrial society. Recycled materials receive a colorful new lease of life in this rebirth. For example, the main body of this snake is made of waste paper that has been painted. Under the body, there is an unfired clay roller that is attached to the body by a rubber band made out of old cycle tubes. The rubber is attached to a metal band that is cut out from discarded tin cans.
Clay has more weight, and it's required for this toy's movement. Now, all these subtle things of the technology, in one way or the other, does get communicated to the children when they play it. Now, such a simple toy is primarily based on the principle that energy is stored, released, stored, released. And children, when they use it, of course, this idea that toys can be made, or products can be made from the available material, cheaper material, recycled material, gets communicated to them.
Folk toys have evolved over generations of use and innovation, both at the hands of children and toy makers. The drum cart, for example, is more complex in its construction and design than other toys. The cart, when pulled along with a string, is tapped by two spring-loaded sticks guided by a ratchet and hammer device. The fired clay container drum is covered by thin bamboo paper or has a thin sheepskin stretched over it. When the wheels move, so do the pieces of wood attached to the axle. These in turn rotate and knock at the long stick which beats the drum. For millions of children, folk toys are not just playthings, but their first experiences with machinery. These easy-to-make and repair toys bring the machinery of man and nature within the grasp of the child. In the process of making toys, we learn about materials, measurement, and precision. And folk toys utilize the principles of simple physics and mechanics, conclusively demonstrating that creativity at any age requires knowing both art and science.